In this episode, I'm going to show you how to cook all manner of delicious foods. Hello everybody, and this is my third quick tutorial episode for 7 Days to Die. And today we're going to cover cooking. And I'm going to start with boiling water because that's probably the first cooking that you ever do in the game. And when you first start the game, you're probably going to boil your first water in a can if you don't find bottled water. So if you have cans but you don't have a cooking pot, you don't have any water, and you need some water, and you don't want to get dysentery, you just need some cans and a stick. And what you do is you hold your cans in your hand, you equip it, and you go to your water source. It can be a toilet, it can be a river, it can be a lake, a pond. Unfortunately, a kitchen sink doesn't work, but the toilet does work. So this is a water source that I created. And I'll explain that later on how to do that. But you just target your water source, holding your cans. You right click one time, because now if you right click twice, you'll drink the water and you'll get sick. So then you look at the bottom here, it turned my cans into cans of murky water. You then go to your campfire, which you make using 8 stones, and all you need is a stick for your cookware in the cookware slot. And you take your cans of murky water, and you see they are stacking, and you put them in there, and you can put as many as you have in there, and then you put in your fuel, and you hit cook. And it's as simple as that. And when you get done, you'll have your murky water to drink. And I mean, not murky water, you'll have boiled water to drink. So here we're about to get us a can of boiled water, and we'll be able to drink that. And then you just put that in your hand on your hot bar, and you right click and you drink it. And you have just satisfied a basic need. Now if you have a cooking pot and you have glass jars, you can target the water source with the glass jars, and you can right click, and then it will give you murky water. And let me just get some fuel to work with. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, and I want to put in the bottle of murky water. Okay, we'll get rid of these, since I showed you these already. And you hit cook, and it's going to make you some murky water. I keep saying that. It's going to turn your murky water into bottled water. Are you cooking? Come on and cook. Doesn't look like it's cooking, is it? Oh, that's because I didn't put a pot in there. Silly me. Alright, let's back up here. Okay, you have to have a cooking pot. And you put your bottle of murky water in the cooking pot, and you hit cook. Okay? So, that's how you can make bottled water. So next, probably the first time, or the second time that you cook, you're going to cook some really basic food on a stick for the versatile stick. It's El Cheapo cookware, right? So all you do, let's say you got some venison. You take your venison and you stick it on the stick with your fuel and you hit cook, and you're gonna come up with charred venison. You can also do that with pork and make charred pork, or you can do that with rabbit and you can make charred rabbit. All you need is a stick. Now if you have a cooking pot and bottled water, then you can take your meat, whether it's venison or rabbit or pork, and you can put it in the cooking pot with a bottle of water, and you can cook that up and make the boiled version. You have boiled versions of the venison and of the pork, boiled pork. This is boiled pork and rabbit. Now, the difference between the charred meat version and the boiled version, the charred gives you a negative hydration effect. Alright, if you look at this, the boiled rabbit gives you +2 health, +20 fullness. The charred is the same except you get -5 hydration. Alright. And if you look at the boiled pork and you compare that with the charred pork, it's the same. The difference is the -5 hydration. And with venison, it's the same thing. -5 hydration for the charred version. So, but unfortunately, the boiled meat doesn't give you hydration, even though you've used a bottle of water. So I never make the boiled version. You know, I go with the charred version or the grilled version over the boiled version. Okay. So once you've boiled your meat, you can then eat it for a tasty meal. So you know that one of you have various cookware. You have the stick, which gives you charred meat, and you have the cooking pot, which gives you boiled meat, and you have the grill, which gives you grilled meat. Now, to make a grill, you need to have a forge, and you need to have the short iron pipes. Well, actually, if you have the short iron pipes, you don't even need a forge, but you have to have 9 of these pipes to make your grill. So you make your grill by putting the pipes in that fashion, then you put it in the cookware slot. Okay, so now what can you make with your grill? Well, if you have venison, you can make grilled venison, which if you look at the difference between the grilled venison and the charred venison, the charred is -5 hydration, but the grill is only -2 hydration. So the grill is preferable to charring if you have a grill, because it's less drying. You can make grilled pork, and you can make grilled rabbit. Okay. What else can you make with a grill? Well, if you have potatoes, you can put your potatoes on the grill and make baked potatoes. Alright, you take your potatoes and you go to your grill Put your potatoes on the grill. Put some fuel on the fire and hit cook. And you will end up with a lovely baked potato to eat in short order. Okay, what else can you do with a grill? Well, if you have some eggs and you have some raw pork and a grill, let's pull off the baked potato. Pull regular potatoes off. You put your pork on the grill with 2 eggs and hit cook. And you will make bacon and eggs. So let's look at the bacon and eggs. It gives you +3 health and +30 fullness, and it does not smell. The grilled pork smells, the boiled pork smells, the charred pork smells. Bacon eggs do not smell. The venison, anything made with venison smells. With the rabbit, anything made with rabbit smells. They all smell. But the bacon and eggs do not smell, which makes an excellent food for carrying on your person. Okay. So you can make bacon and eggs on your grill. You can make baked potatoes. Now the baked potato gives you +12 fullness, which is not bad considering it's just one ingredient, you know, that you can grow on your farm. So you could have baked potatoes up the wazoo to fill you up. Let's see. Let's go look at our bacon and eggs. Yeah, +3 health and +3 fullness, and it does not smell. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's go back and what else can we make here? Okay, all the meats have a stew version. You have venison stew, which is very good. It gives you +5 health, +40 fullness, and +25 hydration, but it does smell. To make it, you need a potato, corn, and water. Pork does not have a stew. If I said that it did, I was mistaken. You can have rabbit stew, which is similar to the venison stew, but it's not quite as good. The stats are not as good, but you make it in the same way with the potato, the corn, the water in the cooking pot. So let's make some venison stew. We need, get rid of these things. We need a potato, we need corn, and we need water to make our venison stew. Venison stew has a very good stats. I think it's probably the best food stat-wise that you can make, but it does smell, unfortunately. So you put water in the cooking pot, you put a potato and corn, and also you need some venison. So let me get some venison. In a cooking pot. So it has a lot of ingredients. Put your fuel on and you hit cook, and that will make your venison stew. You can make rabbit stew basically the same way, just substitute rabbit for the venison. The stats, see, rabbit has +3 health, but the venison gives you +5 health. The venison gives you +40 fullness. The rabbit stew gives you +25 fullness. The rabbit stew gives you +15 hydration. The venison gives you +25 hydration. So the venison is superior to the rabbit. Okay. What if you have a farm and you don't have the meat? What if you're a vegetarian? Is there something yummy that you can make? Well, yes. If you have potatoes, corn, and water, you can make vegetable stew. So you just take your potato, your corn, and your bottle of water, and your cooking pot. Okay, so let's pull off this yummy venison stew, and let's make the vegetable stew, which once I have a farm going, I love to make this thing. Because you got these cheap ingredients, because once you got your farm going, you're going to have an endless supply of potatoes and corn. And you can cook this up. It's very, it's hydrating, you know, and it should be rightfully because it uses a bottle of water. So it gives you 25 hydration, 20 fullness, and 5 health. Compare that to the venison stew. It's not as good, but it's good. And venison requires you to go out and kill a deer. You know, maybe you just are lazy and don't want to leave your fort. Maybe you're a vegetarian and you don't want to kill a deer. So you can have yummy, yummy vegetable stew in no time at all. What other options are there? Well, if you have blueberries in a cooking pot and you have cornmeal. Now, cornmeal is made with corn. Okay, another thing that you can, let's go over corn. Corn's a very useful vegetable. You can make cornmeal with the corn. You just take your corn and you put it in two pieces of corn in your crafting window like this, and you craft and it makes cornmeal. Now don't punch the chest. Not advised. Okay, with your cornmeal, you can make cornbread in your cooking pot. All you need is some cornmeal, a cooking pot, and some water. Let's go over to the cooking pot, put in some cornmeal, put in some water, put fuel on there, let it cook, and it's going to make us some yummy cornbread. The cornbread is plus 10 fullness. Now, if you recall, the baked potato is plus 12. And the cornmeal consumes 2 ears of corn, because it takes 2 ears of corn to make the cornmeal. Plus, it takes a bottle of water, but with a baked potato, you don't need a bottle of water, and you only need 1 potato, so, and you get 12 fullness. So the baked potato is superior to the cornbread. But maybe you don't have potatoes, but you have lots of corn, and you can make you some cornbread. It does not smell. You can carry a stack of 64 in your inventory and munch on it whenever you're hungry. It's a good option. Now, there's another option, corn on the cob, but I do not recommend it. You take your corn and a bottle of water and your cooking pot. Put your corn in there, you put a bottle of water. So already, you know, it's going to consume a bottle of water and an ear of corn. You put it on there, and you'll cook up your corn on the cob. So because it's having, I kind of expect that if it consumes a bottle of water, that it should rightfully give you some good, significant hydration. However, corn on the cob, if you look here, it gives you 2 hydration. That's like nothing. And it only gives you 4 fullness and 2 stamina is very pitiful. I mean, you'd be much better off making cornbread and carrying that around and carrying, you know, a stack of water or goldenrod tea if you have goldenrod tea. The corn on the cob, 4 fullness, 2 hydration. Why, if you eat just raw corn, it gives you 2 fullness. So, you know, I just don't really like corn on the cob. I never make it. What else can we make? Well, corn, as I said, is very versatile. You munch on a piece of cornbread here. I make cornbread in real life quite a bit. I like it. If you have a beaker and you have corn, you can make cornmeal with your corn, and with the beaker and the cornmeal and some water, you can make grain alcohol. Now, the grain alcohol just by itself gives you plus 10 stamina and minus 5 hydration, but that's not the main use for the grain alcohol. The main use for the grain alcohol is in making the first aid kits, and I'll go over that later, but I just want to point out that that is made with the cornmeal and the beaker. But we're going to cover first aid items later. So let's see. Let's finish with the food. I think we covered all of the potato. Let's go with eggs and blueberries. What can you make with eggs and blueberries? Well, we already know that you can make bacon and eggs with eggs, but you can also, if you don't have pork, but you do have eggs and you're hungry, maybe it's your first day in the game and all you have is some eggs, you can make boiled eggs. You do have to have a cooking pot, but you put your egg in the cooking pot with some water and you cook it, and it will give you boiled eggs. Now, the boiled eggs do not give you much, 8 fullness, but if you're starving to death and maybe you have multiple eggs, that might be the difference between you starving and losing some wellness, or making it through the night. And that's happened to me for sure. Another thing you can make with eggs is blueberry pie, but you also have to have blueberries. Blueberry pie is very ingredient intensive, and all it does is give you 20 fullness. So it's really not a food that I bother to make, but I am going to show you how to make it. If you have a cooking pot, you will need cornmeal, an egg, and a bottle of water. And you go to your cooking pot, you put in your water, put in your egg, and your cornmeal, and your blueberry. That's the most important part to put in there. I left the blueberry out. Where did I put the blueberry? Okay, blueberry. Put your blueberry in there, and you press cook, and you'll make some yummy blueberry pie. Blueberries by themselves give you +3 fullness and +1 hydration. So if you compare the blueberry pie, let's see, it's about to be finished here. Blueberry pie gives you +20 fullness. So You have some blueberries, and you have some eggs, and some water. Maybe you want to make blueberry pie. Oh, I hear a screecher. You know, I see a screecher over there. I don't know why he's over there and not here. But anyways. See if I can take him out. Now he's a dead screecher. Alright, what else can we make? I think I've covered potatoes. I've covered the eggs and the blueberries now. And I've covered the meats. Okay, what about drinks? You can make coffee or goldenrod tea, but you need a cooking pot. Let me get rid of this stuff in my inventory. I'll just throw it in here. Trying to dump it on the ground doesn't work very well. So, all you need is some goldenrod flowers. Let me just get one. And some bottled water and a cooking pot. You put your goldenrod flour in, you put your bottled water in, put some fuel on there, and you hit cook. And it will make you up some yummy goldenrod tea, which you can drink instead of water. It gives you 40 hydration and 40 stamina. So it's a very hydrating drink. I think it's the best drink as far as hydration goes in the game. So it's very good. Very, it's about to be done, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. And you can enjoy a refreshing yellow beverage. Now, the other drink that you can make in the game is coffee. You just need some water and some coffee beans and a cooking pot. Put the coffee beans in, and you put the water in, and your fuel, and you hit cook. And you'll brew up some lovely coffee, which does not have a hydration effect, alright, but it does give you a caffeine buzz. So let's have a look at the caffeine buzz. And it lasts 180 seconds, which is, that's like 3 minutes, right? And it gives you 2 stamina every 1 second. So you can run or mine or do strenuous activities, and it will keep your stamina up. So it's very good for that. And because it's a -1 hydration, you can keep drinking it even if you're not thirsty, because it will keep you from being full of beverage, so that you can just keep drinking as much as you want. Right, let me get it out here, so I can drink and drink. See, my bar is all the way up at the top, and I'm not getting the message that says, you know, you're not thirsty. Because like with the goldenrod tea, if I put the goldenrod tea and I drink, it says you are not thirsty, because it's hydrating. So for strenuous activities, you want the coffee. Love that coffee, right? Alright, let's see, what else do we got here? other thing that you can cook in your versatile cooking pot is animal fat. Let's say you kill a deer, or maybe you just killed one of those fatty zombies and you got some animal fat. You can make tallow in your cooking pot, which will then allow you to make some candles. Okay, so you go to your cooking pot, put your animal fat in there, some fuel, and cook, and it will make the tallow. Then you'll need some plant fibers to make your candle. Let's see, let's get this tallow out. So if you have your tallow and plant fibers, you put them in the crafting window, craft, and you get a candle. Nice candle. You can put it on the wall, you can put it on the ground, you can put it just about everywhere to light up your night when it's scary at night and those zombies are banging at your wall and screechers howling looking for you. Okay, now we're just about done with this episode. We're going to cover our first 8 items in the next episode. There's one thing I want to do. As I said earlier, I would show you how to make your own water source, but you need a bucket. To make a bucket, you need forged iron. Okay, for forged iron, you need iron ingots. So if you have some iron ingots, you can take an iron ingot and put it in the middle of the window, craft it, and that will give you forged iron. Now you're going to need more than 4, so we'll take 1 and part of another of the iron ingot bars. But what you do is you put the forged iron in your window like this, craft, and you have made a bucket. Take the bucket to a water source like a river or a pond. You go to the water, and you, just like you were going to fill a can or a bottle of water, you right click the water source with the bucket, and it will scoop water into your bucket. So now it says bucket of water instead of bucket. You will need a well area that you will construct. You can either dig a hole in the ground or make one out of wood like I did, to hold the water, and then you target the hole you want to fill with the bucket, and you right click with your bucket of water, and it puts the water in the hole. And you can then use glass jars or cans and right click them like I showed you at the start of this episode to fill your jars so that you can get water anytime you want it. You can't use the bucket on a toilet, however, unfortunately. I wish that you could. But, so, I'm going to call it for this episode. I hope you found it informational, informing, and enjoyable. And I hope that it helps you in your game to make some yummy food and drinks for yourself. And in the next episode, I'm going to cover first aid items, and how to make different bandages and such as that. So we'll see you in the next episode. you gave me zombie AIDS. That's not nice.